So in your school district, you will have a policy manual, and part of the jobs of school boards is to make sure that your policy manual is maintained and is up to date. So I'm going to talk for just a minute about how that works. Generally speaking, policy manual will be subject to some kind of a regular review, and generally speaking what happens is that you will have either a subcommittee of your board or, and I think it's probably preferable, a group of members of the supervisory union board, if you're in a supervisory union, who will have responsibility for policy manual maintenance and review, and generally probably have some kind of a cycle for review. I would say that you want all of your policies to be reviewed for accuracy at least every 3 years. So it's pretty common to have a 3-year cycle where you've got a committee working with administrators and they've organized their policies in a way that each one of them gets looked at for consistency at least once every 3 years. So if you do that and you find the need to change, then obviously the subcommittee will make recommendations to the supervisory union board and to the local boards for necessary changes. The policy manual itself has to be organized in a way that it's accessible. Remember that the law says that the policies that you have to be codified, which simply means indexed. On our website, we have a very simple system for indexing policies. There are more complicated systems out there, and some boards use them, but generally all you're trying to do when you're codifying is finding groupings of policies by subject. So for example, we have a group on our website that's devoted to student concerns. There's one group that's devoted to personnel. There is another group that's devoted to board structure and functions. So you're just trying to group policies in a logical way and give them each a number, and the number can be sequential. It doesn't have to have any particular meaning, but the point is that somebody who looks at your policy manual should see a table of contents or an index and should be able to find a policy pretty easily by looking through groups of policies. It's very important that in your review particularly and in your maintenance of your policy manual that you pay particular attention to policies that are required by law. On our website we distinguish between policies that are required by law and ones that are what we might call recommended or might be just considered common for boards to have. And the legal requirements, where a policy is required by law, it's very important that you try to keep track of any changes that might have happened over a period of time. And a good way to do that is certainly at the end of every legislative session here in Vermont, that you make sure you know, and we'll help you figure this out, make sure you know what changes there might have been during that session in the requirements for school board policies.